It's no surprise that our forward line is our weakest part of the ground, and for a few weeks now I've been talking about the fact that we don't have another more mature and experienced player down there, and whilst that's one thing that I do believe is true, I also think a big part of the reason why we're getting beaten badly by some teams, especially on turnover and when the ball's coming out of the back line, is a lot to do with our speed of the player at the last line of our forward line. So what I mean by that is when the opposition have a kick out, or if the ball's worked back deep across our forward line, whether it's by mark or a free kick or something like that, typically Tom Lynch is our deepest forward. And what that means is when the opposition start to move the ball around, it's all on Tom Lynch to try and chase and shut down the players exiting our defensive 50. And this isn't a slight against Tom Lynch. The reality is he's just not fast enough anymore to do that, which is fair enough. I mean, the guy's in his 30s. He's slowing down and makes sense. And I think this is a big reason why teams do get heavily more weighted numbers in uncontested possession. So basically what ends up happening is because Lynchy can't get from contest to shut down those exits, teams are able to chip it across the back line 2 or 3 times, and before you know it, they've had 3 or 4 uncontested possessions and they're down on the wing. So they're actually catching our zone off guard. Like we can't actually shift the zone quick enough to shut down those exit options, which means we end up in shambles and then the corridor opens up for a kick inboard, and then that's how teams split us open. So the way to help try and solve that, I think, is by playing someone like Mykelti in the forward line. And what was really interesting is being able to watch the VFL game on the weekend prior to watching the AFL game on the weekend, because it really confirmed what I thought I was seeing. And it to me, it now makes the most sense to bring Mykelti in. I'm not saying in place of Lynch. I'm saying more in place of a Tom Sims might be the unlucky one, because Mykelti can ruck as well. But I just think we would then need to change the positioning of who our deepest forward is, who can do that shutdown and chasing role. What I'm going to do, I'm going to roll some footage we can take a look at. I want to show you exactly what I mean about some of the efforts that Mykelti had on the weekend against the Bulldogs, and this will show you why I think it can be an effective way to use him to stop teams exiting against us so quickly. Okay, so here we are in our forward 50 stoppage for us early in the VFL game. So this is in our front 50. And as you can see, Mykelti not in shot of this just yet. So he's playing as our deepest forward to the right of screen a bit further. We'll roll the tape and just have a look at the multiple efforts that Mykelti makes and the impact it has on the contest for the Bulldogs who are trying to escape our forward 50. So we've got the stoppage taking place. Ball comes down. I'll roll it there and then bang. So Mykelti's already come off the edge of the square to impact the first player who took possession. If you have a look at everyone else in that area, there's only one other Richmond player who was maybe a chance to make that tackle, and he didn't really look anywhere near it. So that kind of tackle there from Mykelti causes a number of things. It causes a potential turnover, and it also plants a bit of a seed into the opposition thinking, shit, I don't want to hold on to the ball for too long in this part of the ground, because Mykelti, who was a big man, could be bearing down on me at a rate of knots and cause some serious damage. If we roll it further, there's more multiple efforts to come which make his presence valuable. So the ball hits the deck. So we look here. The Bulldogs are about to try and exit our forward 50. So they've got the player who's about to receive the ball. They've got this guy over here who can run past for an overlap. And they've got this player who's already in front of Mykelti who can, between the three of them, realistically should be able to work it out of defence relatively okay. Now, imagine that Mykelti is Tom Lynch, and let's see if you think the same outcome would have happened once we roll the vision. So he gets the handball cleanly. He's got the overlap running player on the outside ready to go, but Mykelti has busted his ass to get over here, and it's actually caused a bit of a fumbled handball. Now he's burst past another player. Now the Dogs are hemmed back in deeper into our forward line. Mykelti chases again, puts him under pressure, chases again, and impacts that kick as well. So that's like 3 or 4 really gut-busting efforts that have impacted multiple players across the entire half of that forward 50 for us that we don't see at AFL level. We just don't get that with Tom Lynch. And it's no fault of his own. It's not a shot at Tom Lynch. It's just the reality of where we're at. That type of presence and that type of pressure we can absolutely do with at AFL level. I think it will make the world a difference in terms of the ease at which teams exit our defensive 50. It creates panic. It creates chaos. could create turnovers, which leads to shots on goal that we aren't currently getting. So just based on what I'm seeing at VFL level from Mykelti Lefau, on that alone, that pressure alone, I would be putting him straight into the AFL side. I don't care if he's not getting 10 or 15 touches a game. It's not really a key forward's job to do that, because not only is he doing that work, when you see his game around the ground as well, he is smashing into packs. He's bringing the ball to ground. He's also a nice mark and a good shot for goal in his own right too. So he's actually piecing together a pretty good package. And I just can't help but feel that we should be looking at Mykelti Lefau to play as our highest and deepest forward against opposition teams to get that type of pressure, to really help reduce the amount of uncontested ball other teams can win. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Does that all make sense? Do you think that could be of benefit, having someone like that with that kind of desperation and speed in the front half of the ground? Keen to hear all of your thoughts. But let's get Mykelti in and let's start cutting out some of those exit passes from the opposition.